Let's go. Someone on my microphone being addicted as soon as I see one of these phone C's, they don't have to scream. Couldn't wait to take the mic, blow into it to test it, let my melody play. Then the record suggested I'm dropping bomb. I think peace and calm, and EMC that disagree with me, wave your arm and I'll break. When I'm breaking, I'll leave you broke. Drop the mic when I'm finished and watch it smoke. So stand back, you wanna rap, all of that can wait. I won't push, I won't beat around the bush. I wanna break the phone.
Hey, what's good? What's good? I know it's been a minute, but we are back. I'm like Stephen A. Everybody need a little vacation, fresh out of Mexico. Had a great time, so I wanted to hit y'all. Been a lot going on since we last talked, so I thought it would be a good time to get in and probably get a recap of the summer, a little free agency, some draft noise, and then get ready for preseason. Football wrapping up, and then we got a big college game, so we got a lot going. So what I just hit y'all with, I always like to come with a little music, and I've been following these DJs, a lot of Jazzy Jeff, D Nice, Kid Capri. D Nice did a show with this cat J Period. J Period does a lot of old school New York mixtapes, so he just did a live New Year's Eve set with J Period and Rakim. I'm gonna leave it at that. YouTube it, find it. It's hot. It's ridiculous. I might even put the link on my on the page after the show. So since we last talked, I think we were going into summer league. We had finished the draft. We talked a little bit about the draft. So now we had these cats in summer league. A lot of names out there. The top 5 guys, I'm gonna say, I'm not gonna go through all 30, but I think the top 5: Paolo, Chet. We'll get back to Chet. Jabari Smith, Keegan Murray, Jaden Ivey. Those guys are locks. They are all good. Paolo is probably the best NBA ready. His body, he's strong, he's built. He's a man. He's ready. So I'm already gonna peg him, and you guys can tell me in the chats later. I'm gonna peg him for Rookie of the Year. Chet had a great summer league. Came out strong. He can shoot it. He can rebound. He got a nice little handle. He's 7'2", 3", whatever he is. But solid. But he needs some weight. So unfortunately, he had a little incident in summer league and had an injury to his foot. And from what I hear, that's a tough injury. But hopefully he's out for the season. But it may not be the worst thing. So he can take some time, hit the weight room, get his body together, and be ready for next year. That's what I'd like to see out of Chet. He get that together. The game will be there. But this could be a really good opportunity for him to get stronger and get ready for next season. Jabari Smith, another athlete down in Houston. You put him next to Jalen Green. They are going to be very exciting, athletic, up and down the floor. Still has to learn how to play. He had a good summer league, maybe not the best. I think the best summer league goes to number 4 pick out of Iowa, Keegan Murray. He's pro ready. I think he's going to battle for that Rookie of the Year. He'll finish number 2 in the Rookie of the Year voting. And then we talk about Jaden Ivey. Kid is nice. Detroit really has something special there with that backcourt with him and Cade. We're gonna see a lot of the Pistons. That's for you, Mikey. We're gonna see a lot of the Pistons this year. I think you're gonna really be happy with the youth that they have and how they're gonna progress going into the season. So the draft was good. Summer league was fun, but that's not the best part of the summer. The NBA Summer League is great. All the stars come out. I actually was around for a little bit of it. Met my cousins out. So it was a great time. It's the Summer League Pro-Ams. That's what's exciting. Now, growing up in Chicago, we had the Pro-Am at Chicago State. That was where I used to go. Then eventually moved to IIT. But coming up, seeing Reggie Theus, the Playboy team, Jordan played on a regular basis. J.J. Mitchell-Anderson. You got Eddie Johnson, Isaiah Thomas. All the Chicago greats came out. Mark Aguirre. Teddy Grubbs, you name them, they showed up. I can remember, even sometimes you got high school kids. I can remember one game, Tracy Dildy. Now the old heads from Chicago, I know my cousin from Daryl from King. Tracy was a point guard at King. Man, he was super nice. I think he ended up going to San Diego State. He might be coaching now. All the Dildies could play. But Tracy and Isaiah like put on this dribbling display one afternoon, man, and they were just going, you know how it is in street ball. I'm gonna do my thing. You come back and do yours. And this kid was in high school at the time. Zeke was already in the league, and put on a show. But so summer leagues. So we had the two big ones now. You know, that's back in the '80s. The two big ones now are the Drew League out in LA, and then Jamal Crawford's crossover league up in Seattle. A lot of hoop in Seattle. So we had a few stars come to the Drew League. LeBron was out there. He played a couple of times. DeRozan played on the regular. I think you had some of the rookies showed up. I think Paolo went to that one too. But the Drew League was good. Then you also had the crossover league. Paolo put up 50 in that one. Isaiah Thomas played, the new Isaiah. He played. Let's see. Jamal Crawford still putting up 50 in his own term. If you've seen some highlights of it, he can still go. Jamal Crawford, he's still a bucket. The moves, the handle, it's all there. He even got a little testy in the crossover league with Devontae Murray and Paolo. They got into it, but I guess that's, you know, there's a little personal relationship there from him growing up in the Seattle area, and Murray felt some kind of way and kind of went at him pretty hard. But I think at the end of the day, Paolo gonna have the last laugh at that one when the season starts, because, like I said, the kid is real nice. So going back to Chet was unfortunate to get hurt during the summer league, and you know, there was discussion like, should these guys be playing? Should they not be playing? You got to let them play, man. This is what these guys do. Half of the pros now are over in FIBA playing. You know, Luka's playing for his country. I know Giannis is playing. A whole bunch of the guys, Gobert and a few of the other guys are playing for France. We got teams playing in Mexico for Mexico. So these guys are going to play. I remember they told Michael Jordan had a clause in his contract that he could play basketball whenever, wherever he wanted to. This is what these guys do. So, yeah, injuries are going to happen. It's unfortunate, but I hope we don't get to a point where they start banning them and, you know, not allowing these guys to play in the summer league, because they should have their right to play. And it's great for the game. Fans love it. Like, you may not be able to afford that $200, $300 ticket to see LeBron in LA, but guess what? You waited 4 hours and you snuck into the Drew League, and you get to see him doing his thing in the Drew League. And that's probably the only time you're going to see him play with his son, but we'll talk about that at another time. So we got all of that going. So that's the summer league. Now around the league, so here's one that really, it was just, when you talk about drama, we told you the two biggest places of drama are in New Jersey and in LA. So the New Jersey drama continued with Kevin Durant telling ownership that it's me or Nash and the GM. Ludicrous. Absolutely ludicrous for Durant to say that. I am all for guys taking care of themselves, the players being more aggressive in their contract negotiations and getting what they deserve. Because the owners make a boatload of money. So I'm all for that. But on the flip side, once you've made that negotiation and you signed your contract, you need to honor that contract. I can't go up to Deloitte and say, hey, you know, Deloitte has been run, but trade me to Ernst & Young. I've had enough. I'm holding out. No, bro. Go to work, do your job, and when that point in time comes, we can look for a way out for you. But I'm a little over these guys, just because it don't work out the way you want to, trade me. And I get the flip side that they can trade you. I get both sides of that, but I don't know. It's this whole Durant thing just it was ridiculous. But the owner stood up and he was like, I'm staying with my guys. I love Steve Nash. I gave him the job. He has a job to do. So good for the owner. I think one day we're gonna see somebody say that, and they're gonna tell them take your $40 million, go home, and you can just sit there until I decide what I'm gonna do next. Because what's not gonna happen? These owners are not. They're businessmen. You are not gonna force them in the corner to make a decision that is going to impact them financially. So not gonna happen. You're not gonna get a deal of 50 cents on the dollar, and that's what was happening with Durant. Like, he didn't have a market, unfortunately, and in order to get him, you're going to have to give up a whole lot. And a lot of teams didn't want to do that. So that kind of went to the wayside. So now fast forward, Durant's talking about we're going to work it out. So at the end of the day, if everybody just put their agendas aside, New Jersey could be something special if you think about it. I think Ben Simmons, I think we've gotten over that. I think he's kind of found himself, I hope. Kyrie's saying, if all these guys put together their emotions, put their baggage away for the winter, and just come out and play basketball, New Jersey could really cause havoc around in the NBA. Like, they really could. But all the other crap has to go away. And this is probably where Steve Nash is going to earn his paycheck. It's not going to be about the X's and O's with this team. You can roll the ball out there and let them play. It's going to be about managing individuals. You think about what made Phil Jackson so great was Phil knew how to manage his team. He knew how to relate to each individual player in a very special way, and that's what made him so good. Tex Winters, he was the ex-O's guy. Phil wasn't doing all that. Phil was a operations manager, making sure that everything clicked, and that's what Steve Nash is going to have to do in order to make that work. So enough of that. Here's a funny one that happened last week, a couple of weeks ago, and I don't know how I felt about it. Patrick Beverley gets traded to the Lakers for THT, Taylor Horton Tucker. Chicago for Chicago, West Side for South Side. I like both of them. I like Pat Bev. A lot of people don't like him. I like him. Pat Bev is one of those guys, if you're playing against him, you hate him. If you're on your team, you love him. So, again, Lakers trade away some youth to bring in an old guard. I'm still a little torn and confused by the move because I guess they classifying him as a 3-and-D guy. I didn't know him to be that great of a shooter, but maybe this is the move that sends Russ packing. So whether that is the rumored trade for Russ for Buddy Hield and Miles Turner, or that trade, or do they just buy him out? Do they reach a buyout agreement? Part of me says Russ ain't gonna take a buyout, maybe, but it's gonna be substantial. So where do we go on that one? Not sure, but that's just a very, sorry about that, notifications. That's a different one. That's difficult. But anyway, the roster for the Lakers, I don't even know who they have right now. Honestly, I just kind of gave up. Like, I know I don't know. I don't, and honestly, I don't care. I'm over them. Whatever they put together is whatever they put together, and that's what they do. Shout out to NBA Today. I was lucky enough to get an opportunity, thanks to my cousin Eddie, to dial into NBA Today, and we talked a little bit about this, but it was funny. It was my little 2 minutes of fame. It was fun. I had a good time talking to Eddie and Justin. So that was exciting. Thanks again, guys. I appreciate it. That was a lot of fun. So around the horn with NBA, a couple of teams I wanted to talk about that made some moves that I kind of like. The Bulls, they picked up a backup point guard. They got Dragic. They picked up Drummond. So that helps. Both of those are big helps. Now the big question for the Bulls is, will Zoe come back healthy? Been very quiet on the Zoe front as far as will he be ready for training camp. If he's ready, I see the Bulls really making a nice step in the East. They were playing well until he got hurt. Like, they were defensively, they were one of the top teams in the East. Him and Caruso really made a nice backcourt, and then you had the young guys, AO. They all kind of came along. So now with, Dragic, that's their safety net. If he's not back, they have a solid point guard, so that's good. The Rockets. So I talked about Jabari Smith. the Rockets are so young. They picked up Trey Burke, a little leadership, and they got another young guy out of Kentucky, Ty Washington. So the youth and athletic ability in Houston is sort of it's going to be exciting. They will be a fun. They're not going to win a whole lot. They'll be kind of all over the place, but you'll definitely get some highlights, and they'll be a good, fun young team to watch. So the Houston fans should enjoy that. The sleeper team in all of this, who made some great moves, shout out to the Boston Celtics. They picked up Danilo Gallinari. They made the trade for Brogdon. They didn't lose anyone. They did well. And then they got a homegrown kid, BT. I think BT should make the roster this year, so shout out to Broderick coming out of Bolingbrook. I think he played for, can't believe the name of their team. I think it was the Fire. We played him a few times, and he gave us 30 probably every rip. So shout out to him. Hope he has a great season. He did dress for the final, so that was kind of nice to see. It's summertime, guys. I'm on the Vizzy. It's a fun day. I'm doing a Vizzy seltzer today. Negotiating with Corona Premier, see if we can get the contract back for next season's episode too. So we'll be there. So in the meantime, everybody gets a chance. All right. So those are kind of some of the things I wanted to talk to you guys about today. Then there are some great not NBA, but great basketball shows out there right now. So if you haven't had a chance, I'm going to give you 3 shows to go out and watch. The new And1 documentary on Netflix. It talks about the rise and fall of And1. And if you can remember, And1 was hot. I can remember back then, you had the shorts, the shoes made it out for a bit. The tour was great. You had Skip to Malou, Helicopter, Hot Sauce, The Professor, Cadillac, Mark Jackson's older brother, God bless him, he passed away a couple of years ago. But the And1 tour was special. Like, you locked in, you couldn't wait for it to come on. I think I caught it in Chicago. I think we went and saw it once. I might have seen it one time. But it's very interesting to see what happened with that, because if you think about it, it just kind of disappeared. And it made me go back and think, like, wow, what really happened? Watch this documentary. It's pretty good. It's a little disappointing on how things ended when they get into it, but go to Walmart, get you some shorts. They're still around. They have not died. The brand is still alive. They've been bought a few times, but the brand is still alive. The next show I want you to watch on Showtime is New York City Point Guards. If you haven't seen it, excellent documentary. And if you know basketball, you'll know a lot of the names coming out there. Shammgod, Mark Jackson, Rod Strickland. They'll even go back to Sebastian Telfair, Stephon Marbury. Like, they talk about a lot of these point guards, the history of New York basketball, the Rucker Park. So it's a good watch. It's a very good watch. All of these are like an hour plus. So, you sit down, crack you one, post dinner, and enjoy. And I think we talked about this one before. Hustle, the Adam Sandler movie. Watch that one. Really good movie. Adam Sandler, he loves basketball. Great movie. So now, one of the things I want to add to the show, I really want to get us to use these comments more. Cole was bugging me about comments. I got it to work, figured it out. I don't do all this, but we got comments working. So at the end of the shows, I'm going to give you 2 questions or 2 polls, and then I want you to answer them in the comments. So today I'm going to give you my top 5 under 25, and then I want you to come back to me and just go in the comments and type yours, and let's talk about it. So my top 5 under 25 in the NBA: Luka, Jason Tatum, and these are in order. Ja Morant. 3, 4, and 5 I got 4 and 5 I got really tough, because there are 3 guys and I didn't know where to put them in here. I'm going to put D-Book at 4, and I'm going to put Trae Young at 5. Initially, I had Jaylen Brown at 5. Jaylen Brown has been tough. People don't talk about him enough. Like, he had a great playoffs. So that's mine. So I'm going to give it, again, Luka, Jason, Ja, D-Book, and then Trae Young. And coming up at a number 6 and real close is Jaylen Brown. So tell me what you guys think. Tell me, you might have the same 5 in different order. Then the second one I want you guys to poll on is, this is my buddy Norm hit me with this. We were just kind of talking, you know, we always chop it up. And he said, who would you pick? And I think this came up on First Take. Jay Will was talking about this. LeBron versus Michael Jordan. Jay Will said LeBron is too big, too strong. He would beat him. I said no. I said he also has to stick Michael Jordan. So this could be a game of whoever gets the last possession wins. I think defensively size is not an issue for Jordan. So I'm taking Mike. Done. I'm taking Mike all day. And if you told me Kobe versus LeBron, I'm taking Kobe. Because Kobe will tell you in a heartbeat, this is what I live for. I play one-on-one basketball. This is what I do. So that's one. Just give me your answer on the Mike and LeBron. The second matchup, Shaq versus Wilt. Who you taking? And these guys are in their prime too. So let me give you that caveat. Everybody's in their prime. Shaq versus Wilt. Who you take? I'm taking Wilt. Wilt was probably just as strong as Shaq. Probably a little more athletic. You know, Wilt was a long jumper. Triple jumper. So he jump out the gym. But I'm going to take Wilt. Let's see. Let's see what you got. So, hey, everybody. It's been fun. I'm glad to be back. Hit you with this one. We got some great sporting events coming up. We'll probably get into this, talk a little football on the next go around because I know everybody play fantasy. I got a draft coming up. We got Notre Dame, Ohio State next weekend. We had a lot of football this weekend. So, hey, this is a good part of the year. We get everything going. We have baseball. We're going to have hockey. We'll have football. We'll have basketball pretty soon. So just buckle up and let's enjoy this ride. So, hey, God bless you all. Have a great week. And I look forward to hearing from you. Take care. Bye.